Hey everyone, it is Dani'i and welcome to this update video. And so in this video, we're going to be talking about current winter storm Kenan that is bringing some blizzardous conditions to portions of the northeastern US. And we're also going to be taking a look at what to expect for the Caribbean because we have a cold front associated with Kenan that is going to be bringing a little bit of inclement weather here and there. So we're going to touch on that as well. And we're going to look into the future. So is there a likelihood of another storm event for the US that could be more extensive? Well, we're going to touch on all of that in this video, and so before I get into details, and so we're seeing here that we have Kenan up to the northeast, and then we have that cold front that is associated with it extended all the way over into the Gulf of Mexico. And so all of that cold air is behind the front. So as that front is going to be making its way more south, it is going to bring all of that mass of cold air behind it. And so areas in the Caribbean can anticipate some inclement weather conditions, maybe some intermittent showers. Nothing major is expected from this as of right now because this thing is going to gradually dissipate. However, we can expect maybe some windy conditions along with some cooler than normal temperatures. So that is generally what is in the forecast, especially for the Western Caribbean. And so to further solidify that in terms of the temperatures, let's go ahead and take a look at that temperature anomaly map. And so this is from the Gfs model, and we're seeing here that currently we have all that cold air, which is indicated by the blues. As we head to the purples and that pink shade, that is when we have very cooler than normal temperatures. However, as we head to the oranges and the reds, that is where we have warmer temperatures. And so right in the vicinity of the western US, just in case you might be wondering, you might be thinking, well, we have all of that warm, so how is there blues and purples in that region as well? Well, the answer for that is there is a mountain range there, the Rockies, and so the higher up we go, or the more we increase in altitude, that results in cooler temperatures. Alright, so let us go back now to the topic at hand, what is going to be happening for the Caribbean. So unfortunately, this map is not extensive for the region, but we can see here that we can draw the conclusion that this cold air is going to be making its way down by tomorrow and bringing a cool down to a lot of Western Caribbean islands and even the Bahamas as well. So if you've been longing for some very cool conditions like I am, here's some good news. So hopefully things are going to be just cool enough, but unfortunately these conditions are not likely to prolong. Maybe they just last for a day or two and then things are likely to return back to normal. Alright, so let's go on the Gfs Forecast Map and see what is expected as we're going to be heading throughout today. And so we're seeing here that by tomorrow it is showing that Kenan is still going to have that very significant low pressure of 971 millibars, and the lower the pressure, the stronger the winds. But the good thing is that most of these conditions, these strongest winds, are offshore, because when it comes onto our low pressure systems, the winds get stronger as you approach the center of it. So in the outskirts or the outer periphery of our systems, we don't generally have the same intensity of winds as near the center of it. So we have all that snow as well that is marked by those blue shades, especially the darker blues. Those indicate more snowfall totals, and then we have the green that indicates moisture. That's generally rainfall, and within the greens, whenever you see some yellows and oranges, that is when we have some more severe precipitation happening in terms of rainfall. That can also indicate some very severe thunderstorms. However, by later on Sunday, we see that Kenan would have moved out of the US, maybe just some lingering snow for states such as Maine, and nothing major. So there's going to be sort of a break before that next anticipated storm system. And so now let's go ahead and take a look at what is in the forecast by our different models on the prediction or the forecast on that expected system. So let's of course begin with the Gfs model, and so this is by Wednesday on the 2nd of February, and so we're seeing here that we have all of this moisture, which is indicated by those green shades, and right in that green where we have that yellow and red, that is where we have some very intense thunderstorms developing. But fortunately most of that is offshore, so mainly most of that precipitation going to be coming in, but nothing very major. And so we're seeing here that we have these greens meeting the blues, and the blues indicate snow, or basically all of that warmth and moisture meeting all of that cold air, and that is when we are going to have trouble. So we're going to have our storm system starting to develop from this point onwards, as being shown here by the GFS. And so as we head to further on the day on Wednesday, we see that we definitely have more of that development, as I mentioned, and we have some other colors. So we see purples or lilac shade, and we see pinks as well. So those indicate other types of precipitation. We have that pink shade that indicates freezing rain. Meanwhile, we have that lilac shade that indicates sleet, along with the green, which means general rainfall, and then the blue that indicates snow. And so this system here is just going to get bigger as it gets more moisture. So that is basically its food. So in order for it to become very intense, it needs energy. So all that energy is coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. So however, as we head further on the 3rd of February on Thursday, we are seeing here that we have a massive system developing, and things are just not going to be getting better. We see some mixed precipitation in states such as Texas and Oklahoma. We see a lot of moisture that's going to be affecting states such as the Gulf Coast states of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, going into Tennessee, Kentucky, the Ohio Valley states, those areas. And then we have some of these states that might be experiencing snow in the northern portion. For example, if you're in northern Indiana, you might be experiencing snow, but someone else in the south might be getting a lot of rainfall. So again, this is as a result of that convergent warmth and moisture with that cold air, and so things just don't get prettier. So as we head later on the day, we have a 1004 millibar low pressure system developing, and we see that it is centered over Arkansas as what is being predicted by the Gfs model. So things just get so intense, so messy, so many different forms of precipitation happening in the US. Things could get pretty crazy if this is going to be the actual outcome, and other models are agreeing on this. I mean, we have the NAM that is hinted at it developing, but the NAM does not go as far out as the GFS because it is a short-term prediction model, and so we're seeing, however, that it is showing all that moisture being fed into the US, right where we would have that converging warm and cold air. And then as we head later on the day, February 2nd on Wednesday, we're seeing here that we have more precipitation developing, which is indicating that we have more moisture, more energy making its way in. So the NAM is somewhat agreeing or depicting this potential outcome that we have the GFS showing. We have the Canadian model that is showing something very similar to what the Gfs model is showing here, where we have this very extensive area of all of this precipitation, all this mixed precipitation as well. So things could just be very crazy as they're going to be headed into the latter part of the coming week. But something important to note is that this is only a prediction, guys. This does not have to be the eventual outcome with this system here. So we have to wait and see what is going to be taking place. However, when we have so many models agreeing towards this general trend or this general pattern that we're seeing, it is important that we pay keen attention to it. So as time goes by, we will get a better idea of what to anticipate, and of course I'm going to be keeping you updated as we're going to be heading into the new week. And so guys, if you know me, you know that my channel mainly covers tropical cyclones, but I'm definitely going to start incorporating winter activity and severe weather activity as well, to keep you guys updated as much as possible on what is going on right throughout the year. And so that is it for this update video, and if you found it to be informative, please give a thumbs up, and you can also share your thoughts with me in the comments or ask a question. I'll try to respond as best and soon as I can, and just remember to always be weatherwise.